There. My name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is honor thyself. Are you honoring yourself? Are you being overly compromising? Are you constantly sacrificing? Are you ignoring your desires, your intention, your needs? Need is a tricky word for me because we're all going to die. Do you need anything? No, you're going to die. You have desires. Do you need to eat? No, you could starve and die. Many will. But you desire to eat because you desire to stay alive often. So I say need, but it's a tricky word for me. I've done videos on this. However, whatever it is that you desire, do you find that you're often compromising on your desires because you want to be harmonious? You are a people pleaser. You want to be liked. There are a lot of ways we can kind of unconsciously sacrifice our own desire and just walk all over it while we actually are fulfilling the desires of another. We're overly compromising with the self and we're delivering everything for someone else, but we're completely ignoring the fact that we are not fulfilled in the creation we are engaging with, and it is not required. It is not required. You are a creative intelligence. You are a chooser of your reality. You are using your sovereign, autonomous attention to make decisions as far as what you're doing with this life of yours. How's it going? You know what I mean? Are you sacrificing? Are you self-sacrificing? I would describe myself as deeply self-sacrificing, deeply overly compromising historically throughout my life on what it is I'm seeking, and just often trying to calibrate to other people's desires because I do enjoy harmony, and I am able to often play the role of martyr, to suffer so that others may have. And as my sister wisely once said to me, who asked you to play the role of martyr? You know what I mean? Who asked you to suffer so that others may have? Is it possible that we all might be able to have if we so choose and put our attention on it and focus on that a little bit more? Yeah, I 100% believe, since our consciousness is telling the waves of probability what particles to become, that that's absolutely true. And one of the things I'm working to steward and pay more attention to is how often Heather is choosing to sacrifice the intention and attention of the creation that she desires in order to be liked, be harmonious, be willing to sacrifice and compromise to create harmony. And although those are all things that I do want to bring into relationship, my own ability to surrender, sacrifice, offer, I want to give in a relationship. I'm not there to just take. There's an equanimity that I seek in relationship, and there's a lot I have to offer and give. And I often am not doing the check-in to ensure that there is this equanimity as far as me receiving. And I've spoken before, I did it a bit in the Added Up video. I've done it in a lot of the videos in which I'm talking about relationship with others, on how, someone might be able to offer me their body, or offer me their body and their mind. And as somebody that works to develop the 4 quadrants of being, I'm seeking relationship and partnership, a divine aligned connection in which all 4 quadrants of being become something I'm able to get to know and intimately connect to in this other being. I'm very eager to know the mind of the beloved, the heart of the beloved, the spirit of the beloved, in addition to their body. And I'm in a space, the past several months, I've kind of unplugged from social media and have gone into the forest as much as I can every single day, save inclement weather, or teaching class or something. But I've been going to the hot springs every weekend, going to the forest every day after work to the best of my ability, and disengaging social media and disengaging certain locations I've been going to, and kind of have been more localized as I had this opportunity flush up, and for several months got to engage with a 2-legged in the river of my life that is a beautiful soul. He's a wonderful man, and we are in different places right now. And historically, what Heather Feather would do is consistently compromise that which I actually seek to create in the field, just to maintain the connection of the connectivity of whatever intimacy is being offered to me. And so this particular gentleman has physical intimacy to offer right now. And although he's very brilliant and intelligent and very emotionally intelligent and empathetic and sensitive, and very spiritually developed, those quadrants, like specifically, I've heard him directly say to me in the past couple months, as somebody that offers empathy in his job, I don't feel, my cup feels empty. I don't have as much empathy to offer outside of the work that I'm doing. And hear you, understand it. As a medicine person, I understand that. Sometimes Heather has to do a lot of work to keep her cup filled. And I'm not seeking to have a lover that doesn't have empathy and emotional intelligence to offer the connectivity of our sexual interaction and communion and coming together into union, because I'm going to have a tremendous amount of empathy to offer and emotional intelligence to offer my lover. And that varies each day. I understand being drained today, but if someone is telling me right now my cup is empty and I do not have this to offer, I already know, because just like I can be a sapiosexual or someone that's drawn to intellectual or attracted to intellect, I also can be attracted to the emotional quotient and emotional development of a person and the empathy component of a person, and that can stimulate attraction. And so what historically I would do is maintain the gain of the union of having a lover and having a partner and just like, whatever, that'll shake out in the wash. You know what I mean? Heather, I am aware, and I see this a lot in relationships, where people are kind of waiting for their lover to become the person they seek. And that's what I would call a fool's errand. It's important to be honest with the person you are engaging with, whether it be a friend, whether it be a lover, whatever relationships you're engaging with. It's important to be present with a person as is, as they show up. It's important to love people as is. If you need to change them, then you're having difficulty loving them as is. However, loving someone as is and where they are and with what's going on does not mean that it's necessarily a match to what you seek. And it's important to be clear and be honest. And so I've had a difficult time the past several months being firm in this boundary of like, hey, we're in different places, because I do know this person to be physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually developed, which are the 4 quadrants I seek. And I also recognize that right now they are not in a space to offer that to me. They've come out of a relationship, and I too have come out of relationships where it's like, I'm not in a real commitment-oriented space. I'm not real blah. So I understand like somebody walking in this kind of shoe, if you will. However, as Heather has spent some time being single in the past several years, I am really interested in being excited about a person and for emotional intelligence and connectivity to be present and spiritual connectivity to be present and stimulating conversation to be present, in addition to physical chemistry and sexual attraction, because I'm interested in getting intimacy with another being and to get to know someone's mind and heart and spirit and their body. And I'm interested in sharing mine as well, and being an offering of what I have to offer in connectivity. There's a gentleman I've seen for a year or two, I don't know, sometime in a cafe, tall, dark, and handsome gentleman. And as I came to this recognition that the person that I was engaging with is not exactly in the same space with me, and that if I continue to engage, in order to do that, although I have empathy and can understand and often do seek to offer understanding and empathy, in order for me to continue to engage with him, I have to ignore the truth of where I stand and what it is I'm seeking. And I'm at 49, that becomes more and more something I'm unwilling to do. I was like, no, I don't really want to create not what I'm seeking. And in that regard, I pulled away from this gentleman that I was seeing because we're in different spaces, and I honored myself. I honored Thyself. I honored Heather Feather. It has not been easy, but I am consistently working to honor myself and continue to say, like, communicate this piece of we're in different spaces. I'm interested in dating someone that I can get excited about. And so there's this tall, dark, and handsome gentleman that I've been seeing for well over a year in a cafe. And I asked the barista the other day, and it shocks me because I tend to be shy and not do things like this. But I was like, hey, that guy you were talking to, is he single? And he's like, yeah, he's handsome, huh? And I was like, yeah, he is. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. He said, you should talk to him. I was like, no, I'm too shy. But I don't like to have my attention on someone that is involved ever. And so it just gave me kind of like permission to continue to share attention with this gent. It's funny because this is me stepping into opportunity that might ultimately fulfill that which I seek. It might not. I might be given the chance to talk to this gent. I might finally garner some courage to go ask him all these questions I wonder as I watch him in this cafe each weekend. And I might not, and it may or may not be what I seek. However, when we grab and cling to circumstances, situations, relationships with friends, with lovers, with people in our life that are not an honoring of ourselves. Is there physical abuse present in any of your relationships? No, that's not true for Heather, because that has become a way that I am not willing to walk in the world. Is there mental abuse or emotional abuse or spiritual abuse? Heather's experienced all three of those things. And no, this is something that's become a very clear and firm boundary, if you will, of what I'm not willing to experience. I'm not here to judge any person that's offering physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual abuse. People riddled with poison were often given poison in their cups, and it remains because they haven't done the medicinal antidotal work of doing the shadow integration and healing the self. I can understand all of that context, and at the same time recognize that being in relationship with those beings that are offering this are not a match to what I seek. And I do not seek to self-flagellate or to punish myself. Let me not only be the bully that I can be to myself, because we all have that inner critic, that inner bully, in addition to that inner praiser, depending on who we put in the temple chair. But let me also bring in another two-legged that can be a bully. No thanks. That's a hard pass for me. And so now I've gotten into a place to where I'm not really drawing in as much the narcissist, the toxic, emotionally toxic person. I'm drawing in people that are more developed, and I'm really working to be present with what is it that I'm really seeking. I'm seeking titillation, excitation, excitement on a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual level. You know what I mean? And so sometimes we need to say no to what looks like an opportunity, but is actually something that is working to garner your attention and take you further away from the thing that it is that you seek, so that we can, as we say no, open the doors and windows to other opportunities coming in. And this has not been an easy exercise for Heather, because I've expressed in many of my videos, I would love to have a beloved. I love to be sweet on a sweetheart. I love it. I love to sing the praises of the beloved. I love to have a layer of excitation of the next time I get to see them, or when they speak with me. It's like I enjoy union. I enjoy sharing a meal. I enjoy sharing experiences. And although I have enjoyed doing that these past several months, as I've given myself space and time to do new things and explore an opportunity that presented itself to me, one of the ways I am honoring myself is staying as consistent as I am able to be present with, is this a match to what I seek? And that's what I'm asking you today. In order to honor yourself, we would self-reflect upon the plate of our life, if you will, and we would review our relationships, our duties, our responsibilities, and we would ask ourselves, is the way that I'm spending my time and attention serving the honoring of the life I came to live? As I move towards creating a magical college of mysticism, Heather will have a lot less time. I have a lot of two-leggeds that contact me. Can you interpret this dream? Can you tell me? Because they've known me for decades to be this deeply spiritually focused person. And cool, love that story. And if I continue to give all my attention to helping other two-leggeds interpret things that they can go to Google and get an interpretation for, I will have less time to produce textbooks, to produce online courses. And so one of the ways I honor myself is not just by being attentive to the truth of what it is I seek in communion, in romantic or sexual relationship, but what am I seeking right now? There may have been times in my history where I was seeking a different type of connectivity when it comes to friendship. Right now, that's not something I'm hardcore working to develop, because I plan to produce all this stuff and then redirect to build community and bring it in. Have you looked at your plate? Have you considered if the things you are choosing to place your sovereign, autonomous, powerful, creative attention on are a match to honoring the sacred self that you be. You can always subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube, like and comment there. I always love your thoughts. Amun.